Hey, I'd like to welcome Senna Scott to the podcast. Senna has created her very own Oracle card deck, and I'm so excited to share with you all what it's about and how it came into her life. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, Senna.
Yeah, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Amanda. Yeah, my name is Senna Scott. I am a spiritual intuitive artist, and I'm also a sovereignty life coach for women. And my business is Senna Zen and Senna Zen Art. And yeah, have just such a deep passion for being my most creative and expressive and sovereign self. Like I live and breathe creativity and just the spiritual, like I'm just always so thirsty for learning more and for also supporting women and mothers. And yeah, that's just a little bit about me. Yeah. Thank
That's
you.
so beautiful.
Thank you.
And one of the things I wanted to ask you today was, since you're familiar with all these spiritual tools, it sounds like they're a big part of what you teach others and a big part of your life. What would you say is the first oracle or spiritual tool that you ever used?
Yeah. So I guess first my journey really started with a book. Specifically, the book was by Pema Chodron, and it was called Start Where You Are. And it was like a
Mm,
time in my life I was really feeling lost. Just everything was just like cloudy and noisy. And I found this book. I was drunken in the back of like my boyfriend mom's house, and I found it in some room, and I was like, I need this book. And I like read this book, and it was like this Buddhist teaching, and it like also had practices of meditation and Tonglong meditation, which is a very deep compassionate meditation, and it really opened me up, and it
mm,
changed my perspective. And it just like, like when like a hammer goes like on a mirror and it just shatters. Like it was one of the first steps to my my like shift in perspective and a reality that's shattered in the best way possible. But my
that bit of
first,
awakening.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But the first like spiritual tool that I've ever had was an Oracle deck. And I got this deck. This is the Sacred Rebels
Oh, I
deck.
love that one.
Do you have it?
I don't yet, but my best friend has that one.
Yep.
So she talks about it all the time.
Yeah, I was up in Whistler, Canada with my son when he was a baby. And I was just like walking around, and then I found this like really sweet little hippie, like metaphysical shop. And I just found myself in there looking at a whole bunch of decks and just like having a beautiful conversation with this woman. And I asked her, "It's like, what do you recommend? I have no idea where to start here." And she was
Mm.
like, use your intuition. Like, what do you feel drawn to? And I'm like, what does that mean? and 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 I saw this like Sacred Rebels Oracle, and it's by Alana Fairchild. And little did I know that this was a huge like circle for me of so many synchronicities that happened. So two big things from this deck. One, Alana Fairchild is actually one of my biggest inspirations for how I made the self-love and inner unity oracle deck.
Mm.
I'm a big writer, I'm a big speaker and thought person. I just love to just I have a lot of words, and she goes on and on and on. When you have a reading from her, you know that
Yeah.
each card description is a
Yeah.
multi-page description. And she also includes healing processes. And so this deck was actually a huge inspiration to my work. And also, what's kind of wild is last year I joined this program called Sacred Rebels by Sadie Jane, and she's in Utah. And I became an elemental life coach. And it
Mm.
was one of the most transformative, like, portals that I've ever been in. And I found a deep sacred sisterhood, and it's literally become the foundation of everything that I'm pouring my heart and my soul into now. Yeah.
That is beautiful. And Alana is one of my favorite
Oh, cool.
Oracle card authors as well. I do have multiple decks by her, and I've been wanting that one. Um, would you say that's a shadow deck more than like a work your light type
Oh,
vibe? where it digs a little deeper into the parts of you that need to be brought up to the surface.
This one I would say is definitely a good hybrid. There's a lot of
Mm.
like yeah, there's definitely the call outs, which is awesome, but
Hmm.
there's also a lot of that lighter, encouraging, fluffier energy. But what I
Hmm.
love most about this is like the identity of a sacred rebel is like somebody that knows that they're meant for more and that like whatever they're creating or um like they want to leave a job or they want to create something new in the world, they're going against, they're rebel, they're going against the
Yeah.
norm, they're going against what they were taught, like they're living more boldly and bravely and showing up in the world. And so I think it's a really great deck for somebody that knows that there's something in them and they want
Mm.
that extra fire and motivation and also to be seen and encouraged, and also called out on their stuff. So, yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And I love what you said earlier about the book that you found and it being like start where you are because
Yes.
it's, I love that concept because really nobody can do anything else. That's the only option you have is starting where you are and
That's a
knowing
really
that,
good
that
point.
there's always opportunity to change if you want to change.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
is there anything else you want to share about how you came to create your Oracle card deck? Or I think I think what my audience would be curious in knowing about,
Hmm.
and I say this because some of them are new to Oracle cards. Some
Hmm.
of them listen to my podcast without ever having picked up an Oracle card just because they love the messages. Some people are really well
Mm.
versed in what they are. But what I don't think I've ever talked about, and what I would love to ask you is how do those messages come in for you to write? Like where are you getting all that
Ooh.
inspirational information?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. So first I want to touch on that something you were initially saying about kind of like why I love Oracle, first of all, is like um so there's tarot, and that's like the
Mhm.
78 card deck with the major arcana and minor arcana. And what I want to name about that is that has a learning curve and it takes time to get to know the deck and to know the numerology that's encoded in it and to know the story behind it and the archetypes through the tarot. And so for me, when I first started, I loved Oracle because it was this way of being able to just draw a card and you think it's random. And then it comes with this deep, enlightening message. And then you get to feel that magic really quickly because you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm thinking. It's exactly what I needed. Oh my gosh, a butterfly totally just happened today. Like I saw one and it's on this
Yeah.
card right now. Like what I love about Oracle is that there's, and also as an artist, is because there's
Mhm.
so much room for creativity and a theme to like really go deep into not just the art, but also the messaging and the theme and a way to like open something up in your life before that you never knew was possible. And it's a,
Mm.
it's a perfect little like beginner's way of like kind of entering into the spiritual, the tools and opening up your intuition and synchronicities and stuff in your life. um I'll talk more definitely about how I made the deck and how those messages come in, but I wanted to ask you too, what was the first oracle or spiritual tool that you had?
Oh, so I would say probably back in around 2008, 2009, my husband and I used to go to this local gym and they had a yoga class. And I just, yoga was kind of becoming really popular and I decided to give it a try. I'm not someone who could sit with my thoughts very well. He had tried for years to get me to meditate and I couldn't think of anything but what I was cooking for dinner. I was that type of busy brain and I was in
Yeah.
corporate marketing and it would not come naturally. So when I got down on the mat in yoga and really arrived, I don't think I'd ever felt more grounded and present in my life. I'd never really
Wow.
experienced that sort of quiet with myself. But I also really appreciated that somebody, the teacher, was leading me through it because I couldn't quite get myself there. So to be led through meditations, to be led through a flow in the class was just Oh, I remember that feeling and not wanting to get off the mat after Savasana. I was like, no, don't make me go back into the real world. I love this.
Yeah.
And then Oracle cards probably entered my life around 2016. But it wasn't really until the last couple of years that I really started to use them as a tool. Uh, my
Mm.
first my first deck was gifted from a friend. That was The Law of Positivism. Nope, that's a different one. Sorry. The Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. So
Oh,
those are much
wow.
shorter messages, but it was just
Yeah.
like a daily dose of, hey, here's a little positive message for your day. And so when I really started to get into those longer decks, like the Alana Fairchild decks with the longer messages, I felt so held. I felt so seen, and it was always a message I needed to hear to the
Yeah.
point that I could quiet my brain from asking if it was real. And I think a lot of people are like, is this for real? Am I really going to get a message from me? And I just, have some faith and told myself, regardless of what the message is, it's going to be helpful and I'm going to reflect on it in a way that helps myself. So that's really where it all started for me.
That's awesome. Oh, it's so cool getting to hear your journey too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how we all end up in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I tried to push more spiritual stuff for years and it didn't align. One day it just kind of clicked and I was ready to listen
Mhm.
to the universe. And I wish I could say how to get there for everybody, but you just have to be open. There's got to be an openness, or there's something you haven't faced in your life yet to get you there. And for some
Mm.
people, it's some kind of rock bottom.
Mm.
So for me, I've been really burned out in the world of real estate for the last almost 9 years. Um, and I loved it, but I was sort of on call all the time. And I've started to feel a little bit of resentment, if the phone rang in the middle of dinner. So it was just to, again, get quiet and kind of own my time a little bit more in the way that I show up in the world.
I love that you were mentioning about like when someone's on their journey, it really also depends on how open they are. But I
Mm,
think what's kind of cool and something you were touching on as well is that like there were those seeds that were planted, like you going to yoga and starting to have a little practice or whatever. But like you still move through your evolution, you still move through
mm,
like um becoming more open and becoming more aware. And it's like I don't know. How do I say this? It's like there's a greater orchestration happening for us so that we do become in this recognition of being able to be open to what is coming into our lives.
mm,
And so, like, for example, like this was totally a seed for me, finding this deck, the Sacred Rebels deck that one time. And then it's coming full circle. And I think that's one of
yeah.
the coolest parts about being on this journey and being in recognition of our spiritual journey and our awakening and our healing and whatever it is that we're feeling called to in the moment, that we're always being guided, we're always being led,
Mm.
and it's also our soul that's taking us there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a beautiful reminder. You said it so nicely because it's really not something you can push. Like I said before, like I pushed to learn meditation and I was
Yeah.
not ready.
Yeah.
But when you just become open and say and really have faith that the universe, your soul will guide you at the right time, you get to just surrender a little bit more and let life
Yeah.
happen. And when you do that, it quiets the mind. That's what helps quiet the mind to let some of the magic flow in and you just become a little bit more present to your
Yeah.
everyday, which is where, I mean, the journey is the goal, right? The journey
Yes.
is the magic. So,
Yeah.
oh, I love that. I love that you shared that.
The journey is the destination. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah. Yeah.
say.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like getting to hear about your path here. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey of starting Oracle mornings and then how that also involved into the daily Oracle journal?
Sure. Yeah. Just as I was starting to get a little bit more burnt out, I decided that well, I found myself not wanting to leave any sort of guided meditation or meditation time or yoga class. Like I didn't want to come back to the real world.
Mm.
And I realized that I wanted to spend more time diving into this path and uncovering all the sort of muck so that I could heal from it. And that's sort of when the idea was born. I was like, I want a passion project. How about I share beautiful messages with people every day to just help them start their day a little bit? Because if you don't take the time with yourself, then your day is just going to happen. And you have some say in how your day is going to happen, but only with intention. So, especially for those people who were new to it and just weren't, maybe aren't sure where to start, I just wanted to provide a little bit of reflection time. And in the podcast, I often will give my own reflections on the message, and it may resonate with some people and it may not. But even if what I say doesn't resonate, they'll have a certain reaction. It will help them be creative in their own way of thinking about how they feel about the message. So that's how Oracle Mornings came about. And I had started doing it every day. I'm to every 3 days now because that was a little tough to upkeep. And then as I got going with that, I realized I think there needs to be another piece, and that's where the daily Oracle journal started, where because what happens is, you pull a card and it's like, oh, what a great message. And I found myself bookmarking in all my guidebooks, like I want to read this one again. I want to read this one again. And it's like, wouldn't it be nice if I had actually taken the time to journal on all of this? So the journal I created, and I'll just grab a copy, is a way to have it all in one place. And so all the different sections just lead you through recording the date, the card, the deck, sort of what the overall message is. And then that's when you go inward and really try to decide how you reflect on it. And then you get to say, oh, this butterfly showed up, this dragonfly showed up. That was in the card I read earlier today. So you go back to your notebook and you write it down. You write down this message has encouraged me to take this next step. So I'm going to remember what this next step is. And it just becomes sort of a map or a stepping stone for people to see their own transformation, if that makes sense, and
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
witness. They get to witness all of that and help train their nervous system and their subconscious that this is real. This is happening. Look at all these little beautiful moments. And it creates such a bigger appreciation for life in all the little beautiful moments.
Yeah. Okay, I want to name that so I met you through we're in a Kathy Heller group
Mm,
together, and you got called up in front of everybody
a
and you're
hot seat.
talking
Yes.
directly with Kathy about
Yeah.
this journal. And as you were describing it, I was like, "Oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever."
Oh, thank you.
I like and then it's when I reached out to you like in the comments I was like, "Can I can I send you my deck? Can we do a
Mhm.
collab?" Like because what you're the problem that you're solving that at least in my life is like I am a neurodivergent girly. I have 100 different journals and like
Mhm.
I can't even tell you like it's like this journal that I have right here. This was meant to be for like one of my programs, but I have like so many different things now into
Mhm.
it. It's like
Mhm.
every single journal has so many things into it. And so two things. When I was learning tarot, for example, one of the best things that someone asked me was before you look up the description, what does this mean to you? What does
Mm.
this feel to you? What's your intuition say about it? And so then I would just like look at the imagery and then I actually journaled out and I wrote down how this image meant to me, what I think the message is. And then I went to go look at the description and was like, oh my God, this was essentially the exact same thing. And so
Yeah.
what I loved so much when you're talking about your debt or your journal, excuse me, that you create a place for people to practice that, to write down what's intuitive for them, what to write down what's like the messages that are coming to them before they even read the description,
Mm.
right? I mean,
Mhm.
either
Mhm.
or, that's there. You can do that if you want, but it's an opportunity for someone to practice that. And it's
Yeah.
all in one place. It's all in one place. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I had just the power of like having that practice every day or
Mhm.
as often as you're able to land and come back to it and then being able to look back at your past readings and look back and like you were saying like have those moments of where you wrote down the synchronicities or you wrote down this manifested into my life. Like it helps also that subconscious part of you to really come online and believe and realize that like you're this incredible energetic
Hmm.
being that's so
Hmm.
limitless and so powerful and able to manifest and create, and you're always tapped in, you're always abundant, you're always so guided. So
Yeah.
anyway, I've been fangirling you ever since I met you because I'm like, this
Oh,
is such a freaking cool thing coming out into the world. And I can't wait to get my hands on it and
it's
like
coming. It's
share.
coming your
I'm so
way.
excited. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And I know, I think what you're just saying is it's why we show up and do the work that we do, right? To just give people a place to find their own power.
Yeah,
Because I think so many people just feel lost and they're
yeah,
always looking for external sources to either validate themselves or find their own worth. It's all in here. But again, you have to be open and ready to find it. So Senna's deck, my podcast, the journal, they're all tools to just help you find your way until it becomes more of a rhythm in your life. So thank
yeah.
you for your kind words. I love that.
My seriously, my pleasure. Like
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that this exists in the
Mhm.
world. Like yeah, it's gonna help so many people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the whole goal. Well, Senna, tell me a little bit more. I'd love to talk a little bit more about the deck. Is there
Yes.
anything else you can share with us? I have a few specific questions for you, but if there's anything else you wanted to say, please feel free.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, a few things. I still want to loop back on that question you mentioned earlier about like how do the messages come in? And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to answer that with also kind of telling you how the deck was created in the first place, because I didn't set out to be like, I'm going to make an Oracle deck today. It was actually a part of this great awakening that was happening for me where so I had to, in order to share this part of my story, I have to kind of go back even further where a big arc in my life has been I have not been authentically myself. Like
Mm.
I've known since I was 5 years old that I was like, I want to be an artist. I painted, I drew. I remember looking at like other kindergartners' drawings and I was like, and then I look at my own, and I'm like, I am really good.
That's
In
such
the
a great
most,
thing to
in the
recognize.
as a 5 year old, in the most innocent, just pure, like, there's
Yeah.
something in me here,
Yeah.
there's a recognition of that and just being like, I want to be an artist. But, part of my journey has also and my soul contracts with my family and my father and has been, like they had a different world. They had a different generation. They
Mm.
grew up in work hard, stay with the same job, make money, save up for retirement, that kind of thing, And I know that this is so many artists' journeys as well,
Hmm.
where I was told that you can't make money with art. When I wanted to go to college for art, I couldn't do that. I had to go into a business route. So it what that subtly did though was it created this dissonance in myself that something was inherently wrong with me for wanting
Mm.
this. And that there was something inherently like not lovable or okay because I wasn't seen, because my joy and what was very vulnerable for me was immediately extinguished.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm getting chills because I can
Yeah.
feel future viewers listening to this and that it means something deeply to them too, because I know that in so many of our lives, so like millions of people, this happens to us where our joy gets crushed in some
Yeah. When that
way.
flame goes out, it's,
Yeah, our vulnerable expression, our truth in some way gets
yeah.
extinguished.
You
But
don't
I
always realize it's happening
and you don't
in the
exactly,
moment.
exactly. But
Yeah.
like, so I'm grateful to say I'm on, coming out on the other side of this arc of this reclamation and seeing that this is actually such a gift
Mm.
because um in that moment it was me abandoning myself, abandoning my truth. And so I have to say all of that to say that in the past, sorry, one more thing. So I went down the corporate route for a long time. I became an energy engineer. And during the day, I'm doing energy engineering. And in the nighttime, I'm learning Reiki. I'm becoming a numerologist. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm like learning about meditation, so I'm doing like energy work at night. So I'm like energy, 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 everything. And so I say all this to say that the past 10 years has been this like slow but subtle reclamation of like re-encountering art and relearning that like this is something that I love, and saying that it's actually safe and okay to be able to express myself again and to reclaim those parts of myself and the inner child of me that was hurt and then sad and feels unlovable. So over the pandemic, I just my I started to paint because what else do you do in lockdown?
Mm,
You're all alone, right? And you have these big feelings. I started to channel all these big feelings into my painting. And then but it what I learned was that art for me was my channel, and it was my
mm,
connection with the divine. It was my connection with something greater. You can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it the universe, whatever you want to call it. And so for me, I found that flow state, right? And so every single painting that started to come through me, and I was like a mad woman. Like the first year of the pandemic, I made maybe about 40 something paintings, and then within the second year, I made about 68 paintings. Like I just rapidly would paint. And to answer your other question, as I paint, I actually get channeled messages. I hear things.
mhm,
I hear either in the form of poetry or words or symbols, or I get images or visions. And so then I'll just like I'll convey this and I'll get it out. And so every single one of these cards were either images or symbolism or an experience I had with guidance, or a meditation or a dream or some physical realm experience that I was alchemizing. And they all came with a message. They all came with just another way of either loving myself or understanding another part of me, or and it was my reclamation of returning home to myself, of union within myself. And so it's
mm.
called this
Remembering,
remembering
remembering,
to
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So it's called the Self-Love and Inner Unity Oracle deck. And it features, yep, there it is.
it's all
Yes.
gonna be backwards. Yeah. It's,
Yes. And yeah, and so if you know anything about human design, I hope,
I
yeah.
the
So
audience might, I do mention it a little bit, but the
yeah.
audience might not be as familiar. Yeah.
Well, I'm planting a seed here for your audience
Awesome.
that there's this thing called human design, and it helps you to understand more about yourself. And what I will say is, so I'm a projector, a self-projected projector, and my lines are like 6'3". So, but
Yeah.
what it means for me is that I learn in trial and error, and I have to experience things and learn things, and that part of my medicine is sharing what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. And
Hmm.
so this deck is literally my heart and soul. Here you go.
Can I just take a second here? I just
Yeah.
pulled a few cards because I think that everybody needs to see your beautiful artwork. And I know my lighting's not great, so they can go check this out with you too. Here is Senna's Phoenix Rising card. So beautiful, you guys. The colors in these, look at the symmetry on this one is just gorgeous. This is the Soul Revival. I'll see, it's a little grainy on my screen. And then who doesn't love a wolf fox? So detailed. I love this. It's like, I trust myself and my guidance. Like,
Yeah.
if you just left it at that, that would be
Yeah.
so powerful. But Senna's done this incredible thing where she has a digital guidebook, which I
Yeah.
think it's so different. And what I love about it is that you can update it digitally if you ever feel more clarification or some sort of shift in your messaging, is that you can go update that even when people own your deck. They can just keep, they might receive somewhat of a different message next time if they pull the same card.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
I love
it's
that.
true. And it's funny because when it finally was coming together, last year I birthed it on the 8/8 portal. And it was
Mm.
funny because I had this clear, like, it needs to come out into the world now. But it's like the digital guidebook wasn't quite finished. And I had to overcome my perfectionism and just be like, oh, okay, here you go. And it also hasn't been professionally edited. So If you catch errors, email me.
Nice. I love it.
But it's one of those things where it's like sometimes the magic just needs to be made. Let it breathe
Yeah.
and let it come out into the world, right? And let it evolve as it needs to be. And so really it wasn't until this past summer, 2025, that I finally finished the digital guidebook. I made my brand website and I put it in the back end, like I made it into like a so before the QR code would take you to like a Google Drive. Like that was
Mm,
my OG spot. But now it's like on the website. And what I take some humble pride in as well is that so every card comes with the imagery and it comes with like an affirmation and it also
mm,
has a message, a card description, and then each one has a healing process. You know,
mhm,
like I said, I'm very inspired by Alana Fairchild. But something that drove me nuts about Alana Fairchild's work is that the guided visualizations in the form of text
mm,
makes me go crazy because I can't meditate and visualize and then read and then meditate and visualize and then read. And it's like
mm.
having one eye open, one
Same,
eye
same.
closed.
Yeah, yeah.
So for the visualizations or for the meditations, I recorded them and I have a guided audio for about 20 of the cards in there
Oh, that's
so that
beautiful.
yeah, you can go deeper and you can actually receive a healing process and an activation.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I
Oh,
that sets this deck apart. Yeah.
I want to mention for our listeners,
Yes.
just a little suggestion on this for any of Senna's cards that don't have the guided recording for the healing. And I think that's a brilliant idea because I too, it's like, I really want to get into it, but you can't while you're reading. And you can do this with Senna's deck, you can do it with other decks, is if it has a healing section, record your own voice, maybe as a voice memo on your phone and guide yourself through the meditation.
Yes.
It feels weird. It feels weird for some people at first, but hearing your own voice is actually really soothing to your nervous system. So also consider that for the ones that don't have recordings yet.
Oh my God, that is the best hot tip I've ever heard.
Yay!
That's so good. I mean, alternatively, if you have a friend, another person that you
Mm.
feel safe with, something that I do with my friend Sienna, she will read off the visualization for me, and her
Oh,
voice is
yeah.
just also so beautiful, and I sink in deep. But yeah,
These are
Mhm.
definitely fun to do with friends, guys. If you
Yeah,
ever like, throw yourself an Oracle card party, I'm just saying.
yes, exactly.
Forget the Tupperware.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I love that. Anything else before I move on to a couple questions for you?
Yeah, I will say one more part about my story
Yeah.
is that a part of why this awakening over the pandemic was also so kind of intense, other than the state of the world that was happening, I had met my twin flame in the physical realm. And
Can
I'm going to
you
explain for
quickly
your
describe
listeners.
that? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
what a twin flame is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a twin flame is essentially your divine mirror, your counterpart. So
Mm-hmm.
if so we have our physical human bodies and then we have our higher selves. These are our most purest forms of our higher selves, right? And beyond that, it's a soul that shares an oversoul. It's like there's two bodies, two higher selves, but then they have a consciousness that where they were one. And so
Mm-hmm.
then they were divided and essentially incarnate in two separate bodies. And the purpose for that, the intention of that is the remembrance to always remember that you are one. And so what I want to name too is that currently on the planet, why I think there's been such a big wave of twin flame, twin flame, twin flame, because whether or not you are familiar with this term, it has become more popular, and I want to name that it's there. There has been more awareness of the consciousness and also unification of twins coming in this time for the higher evolution of the planet in this exact moment in the evolution that's happening for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to get too meta. Um, but I need to also name that 99% of what you'll find on Google, what you'll find on the internet, what you'll maybe see on Netflix, because there's some horrific things out there, is all based in egoic consciousness, the human formed stories. And it's
Hmm.
not coming from the vibration of pure, unconditional, eternal love, the remembrance that you're one. And
Hmm.
that is, so I need to name that because if somebody has met their twin flame or if somebody's been questioning that, the whole point of this journey is to remember that consciousness, is to bring that frequency and essentially birth it into reality. It's
Hmm.
a it's the remembrance piece that we are all one. It's the remembrance piece that everything is love. And it's the remembrance that you're never separate. You're always within union. And I have to name this because it is such it's why my cards are so potent because it is they all return you back to this knowing. And because in the subtext it says finding divine union within.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I have to ask,
Yeah.
how did you know? How did you know you had met your twin flame?
Actually, when I first met him, I didn't know. And I
Mm.
also didn't like him. But the thing is you're your mirror. There's your mirror.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
also what I feel about myself. And then this is such a big question. There's so much that's happened also on our journeys, but um essentially I had dreams
Mm.
and I still have dreams. And it's like I'll experience I had this dream of like because we became friends and we were also going through some really intense stuff alongside each other.
Hmm.
And um but we were also like really truly there for each other. But I had this dream one night of like us hugging and being together. And there's more to this dream. But it's very sacred, so I don't want to share it all.
No,
But
that is absolutely fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was this feeling within my heart that like, and within my entire soul, and within every cell of my being that like lit up in just this absolute oneness. And it's
Oh,
like, and it's absolute love. And it's like nothing that I've ever experienced before.
that's amazing.
um, I have to name this as well because part of why there's so much negativity, and what I want to name about that negativity is because it's polarizing. It's because when there's such a brilliant light and such a brilliant truth, there's also going to be a shadow, and there's going to be
Mm.
people that don't understand it. And what I want to name too is that um, when two souls are coming into resonance, they're always looking for resonance with one another. So a part of this is when you're looking for resonance with one another, when you're trying to remember this truth, everything in your life that is not of this truth,
Mm.
you will be faced with. And it was also these very intense ruptures
Mm.
of like my ancestral programming, my and karma and intensity around the societal masculine and feminine constructs. It was around my religious programming. It was around having to heal karmic relationships
Hmm.
and anything that was not aligned with this highest truth kind of all came up at once. And so there's these really intense things that happen and that you experience on it's so hard to explain, but like people
I'll.
get caught up in the stories
Mhm.
of thinking that their twin is the problem, but really all of it is a way for you to learn and heal and remember this truth and to remember the love within you and the love, the eternal love within this other person, that you're always one, the soul's always there. So, okay, I dropped that just because this deck I know is really helpful for people that are on this journey, whether they know it or not, people that are experiencing karmic relationships, soul love, relationship stuff, and that really want to also understand their own inner masculine and feminine polarities,
Hmm.
so that they can really live in that place of oneness and that inner love within themselves. Um, Thank you so much for letting me let me share this. I
Mm.
This is actually the first time I'm publicly sharing this story.
Oh, that's it's so beautiful, right? And you're showing up so authentically, and I think we can all feel that. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank
And
you.
I wanted to touch on something you just said, Senna, because I think a lot of that may have been somewhat high level for people, but there's so much beauty in it. And you mentioned the shadow, the shadows or the hard that's going to come along. And a lot of things that Senna and I are talking about on today in this interview, they're very it's a lot of light, it's a lot of love, and finding our way on our spiritual path, and it's so beautiful. But like Senna said, you can't always go to these places without meeting those shadows. And that's what we talk about when we say we're uncovering, we're unpeeling the layers. And I kind of sum it up this way in my own head, is that you cannot see the light without dark.
Yes. Yeah.
If you turn a light bulb on in a super sunny room, you will not notice that light. In the darkness, though, it makes all the difference.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important that, to live in wholeness and to feel as one, we've got to accept we've got to accept all those pieces and learn how to integrate them, learn how to work with them. Some pieces will be healed and some pieces will just be part of you. And actually today's episode was just on ancestral traumas that I did this morning.
Oh, cool.
So a great timing. And the one that's being released, I'm doing one next week on reflecting on the reflection. So the world is mirroring us constantly, whether or
Yeah.
not we like it. And that's probably one of the hardest truths for people to hear, especially if somebody triggers you.
Yep.
It's a reflection of you. So
Yep.
get curious real fast because there's
Yeah.
some healing to be done there.
Yeah. There's
So,
this Esther Hicks quote. I'm gonna likely paraphrase it a little bit, but it's like in those moments when you feel triggered or activated or angry at somebody or whatever, the best question to ask yourself in that moment is like, what about this person or this situation is causing me to be separate from source?
mm, yeah,
What, yeah, and like getting clear on that, and it kind of takes away the judgment from it,
yes.
and it just allows you to get really clear on, kind of the story that's happening, but also like what's being activated in you,
Hmm.
because there's a potent gift in that. And what I want to name too is just that it's that, like, my mentor, she came out recently, her name's Meg, and she's like, I'm not a light worker, I'm a wholeness worker, because the
Mm,
work is all about, like, yeah, it's not just always love and light. It's loving yourself even amongst the shadows, loving yourself even amongst those times where you're triggered and you're activated, and also allowing the full spectrum of everything you're here as a human to experience.
yeah,
Experience, feel it, feel it,
yeah,
allow
yeah.
it. Be angry, have rage, have grief.
Don't let it get stuck. That's the
Oh,
important part.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love this. I think that, guys, this might sound hard. Like, right, that sounds like a lot of intensity. Honestly, letting yourself show up messy, letting yourself show up vulnerable, you will be amazed at actually how much more life flows. It feels so much more easeful when you let all of yourself show up. And it helps, like, I think Senna earlier, as you go through this transformation, there's going to be some stuff in your life that doesn't feel like it fits anymore. Let it shed away. Let it shed away
Yeah.
because it will keep you stuck and you're moving on to who you're meant to be. And that's beautiful. It's not as easy again as it sounds, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot
Yeah.
of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And the other piece I wanted to mention, I think it's so cool, and I know this is going back a bit, that you were an energy engineer. Is that what?
Yep.
My
Yep.
husband's an engineer, so I'm like, I have an
Yep.
appreciation for the engineering world. But I also just want to remind our listeners that, Senna and we're kind of go through these transformations within our career based on spirituality. But if you hold this job or you hold a career that you love or that you're really good at, it's okay to still do this work and not feel like it has to be one or the other. And I just want to make sure people know that because when you're doing this work, it's only going to help build the strong foundation under the other areas of your life where you show up. And you know what? You might find a more fun way to do it. You might find more joy in it. You might be able to show up more authentically and help others see that that's okay too. Because I think what I hear is a lot of people show up differently at work than they do in their regular life. And that doesn't have to be that way. We can be who we are.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that because with human design, I'm a manifesting generator, but I also have the three line, and it is a lot of trial and error. So Senna
Yeah.
and I are here to try this, fail, try this, succeed, and then share it with others. So that's what we're here to do. So don't feel like you're behind. Don't feel like you have to drop your career. Just know that this can be a really beautiful practice in your life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that you brought that in. And I feel like I have this visualization that I want to offer someone that like really
Oh.
is lit up with your words, is that like it's like as you like have that little spark within you, something that lights you up, and as you just kind of like cultivate it, like if it's yoga after work, or if it's your meditation practice, if it's doing an oracle reading with my deck and
Mhm.
Amanda's oracle daily journal, like yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Like build that light and just allow it to just keep growing and just keep nourishing it and nurturing it. And what's funny is you don't have to force anything else in your life. What's going to happen is naturally your frequency is just going to start reality bending and shape shifting literally your life. So whatever then no longer serves you, it's going to fade away. It's going to gradually happen. It might also be like for me, I was fired from my job this January. And when I was fired, and what's funny is I was in an 8-hour hypnosis session doing some healing work. And I was like, something's going on with my job. Like, what's going to happen? And my higher self in this hypnosis session was like, don't worry, something's already on its way. It's already
Oh,
being
don't
worked out.
worry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already being worked out. I get out of this session, and at night I go to check my email, and I get a message from my boss saying, "We're letting you go. We're giving you $5,000. Finish out this week by Friday." And I'm like, I just smiled. And I was like,
Oh
I was
my God.
just fired from my job
Through
and
email?
given $5,000
Oh my God.
and I don't have to do anything. And for me, it was this deep knowing of like being I see this visual of like I'm up in an airplane and just getting kind
Mhm.
of kicked out by the universe and saying, it's time to fly, girl.
Yeah.
Time to fly. No more
Sometimes
waiting.
you'll know when that push comes along.
Yeah,
Everybody,
it
yeah.
will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen. Or
Yeah. That's
you'll
your
feel
little
so
nudge.
much friction starting to happen and you're like, why is it
Mhm.
happening? Why is everything getting so hard? And it's because something's leaving.
Yeah.
Something, and or you may have to make a choice and really stand in that choice and allow
Yeah.
it to leave.
Another analogy for that I just love is like picture hanging on two vines, right?
Okay.
So you have your vine, maybe that's your job, maybe that's your relationship, and you're swinging to catch the other vine, which is your future, what you really want, what you really desire. If you don't let go, you're not going anywhere. You can't swing to the other side.
Oh,
So I love that, right? Because same with the trapeze. Like you can picture anything you want, and you might have to hang in the middle for a while,
yeah.
but it's going to be pretty uncomfortable.
Keep swinging.
So it's a spot where you got to bring in the tools, get a healer, get yourself some help because it's time to move on. So,
Wow.
what's one card in your deck that surprised you the most? Like, what's something you're like, whoa, I can't believe that came through, or didn't expect didn't expect that
Oh,
one.
wow. Most of them. I am seeing an image for one of them at the moment though, because what's interesting was how do I say this? It's like when I painted this painting, I thought it was one thing, but it wasn't until my lived experience where I continued through living and experiencing and healing and whatever and growing that I understood this painting on another level like 2
Mm,
years later. And it would be
2
this one.
years. Wow.
Yeah. It'd be this one. It's like we're ascending. What
Okay.
does it say? Everyone is having a sacred experience.
Mm,
And it
beautiful.
took me a long time to remember this, to learn this, because if you like look at this image, so it's for those that are only listening on audio, essentially the image is like there's this feminine that's like in this like higher vibrational cloud, and then there's this masculine that's looks like she's holding on to, and she's trying to hold
Yeah.
on to him.
Yeah.
And there was a part of me, there's a time in which you think you're doing someone justice and you're doing something of service by trying to bring them with you. You gotta come
Hmm.
with me, come on, let's go.
Hmm.
But what I had to learn was that actually one of the best things that you can do for someone is to let them go, and to let them
Hmm.
go their sacred path, and to honor that like their path and what they need to do and what they're choosing, and the consciousness of the level of their choices that they're making right now in this time is sacred. Every single path is sacred. And one of the
Hmm.
most disempowering things that you can do for another person is to assume that you know better for them.
Yeah.
It's 11:11 my time. So
Oh, and doesn't this show up as a parent all the time? I mean, at some point, yes,
definitely.
you know better
Yep.
than your kids, but
Yep.
there's going to be like mine are 12. I have twin boys. Speaking of twins, I have twin boys, they're 12. And what a transitionary time that as a parent, trying so hard to honor who they are on their own and how, I mean, for twins, they're fraternal, they're very different. And just trying to honor who each one is showing up in their life as, and just trying not to mold it too
Yeah.
much. And that's a fine line as a parent. I don't know if you, I know your son is younger, but I don't know if you're experiencing some of the same.
Well, so my son is 7 now. And
Mm,
so it's kind of that age where he's kind of like cut the umbilical cord with me, and he's really
mhm.
stepping into himself and what he likes. And yesterday, even like he was like prepared to get rid of his little train tracks. And I was like, oh, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that. He's like, I can keep them. And I'm like, no, we don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. We can get rid of 'em.
Yeah. Yeah.
um so yeah, there's the honoring of your process, and there's the honoring of their growth and their
Yeah.
readiness and who they're becoming and who they're being. And there's also the like yeah, I mean, I'll be taking notes from you in a few years. but but yeah, there's the like as they go out into the world, like
Hmm.
they have to learn resilience. They have to learn managing conflict. They have to learn to make mistakes and how to, go through them, and it's like it's hard being a mom sometimes because you
Yeah.
don't want
I
your
mean,
baby to
that's a
hurt.
whole nother podcast
Yeah, yeah,
series.
totally.
Forget episodes, series. And
Yeah,
I'm sure there are plenty. There are plenty.
totally.
Um,
Okay.
so, and you talked a little bit about the intention that you had behind the cards and who they're for already. So,
Mhm.
unless there's something else you want to add to that, I won't
Yeah.
spend
I
too much
think
more time.
lastly, and I think this is why I went down the whole twin flame tangent, is because I really, really believe that this is I just want a source that I created that's out there that really speaks truth.
Mm,
And because I have seen many decks and I have seen readers and I have been in many psychics and healers and um that have no idea, have no recollection of this journey. And it can be a very isolating thing because unless you've experienced this, you have people don't understand.
mm,
And it can be really hard some days and sometimes. And so yeah, I want for the person that's listening to this, for someone that feels this, for someone that feels a little hunched to even get it or give it to someone, or for an oracle reader, or a tarot reader, I just yeah, my hope and my intention is for someone to not feel so alone or isolated on this journey, and to
mm.
have a way to be able to really communicate with the truth of their soul and also their higher selves in twin flame. Yeah, so there's messages for individuals, and then I also have specific messages for twins. So I want to name that.
Beautiful. I love it. Would you be willing to pull a card for us and share a
Yes,
message?
thanks for
All right.
asking. Always. Okay.
Be nice to not be the reader of the cards for once.
Totally, right? Okay, so what is the highest and best um message today for Amanda, myself, and for those that are listening to this either now or in the future? Okay, the way that I read, everyone has their own different things of how
Yes.
they pull cards. Mine like to hop out. So
Hmm.
first, the one that I saw immediately was bathed in warm honey. And the affirmation is, my true nature is that of abundance.
Oh,
And so if you're watching the audio, it's this woman that is just feeling so nourished and is surrounded with this yellowy golden light.
definitely golden light.
Yeah. And it's that remembrance that, like, um, the thing about abundance is that it's not just the physical money. It's not just, it can be, if you're talking about physical manifestations, a relationship, it can be love, it can be community, it could be something that you're pouring your heart into. But it's also the knowing that everything, the whole universe is abundance, and the same energy that like grows a redwood tree is
Mm-hmm.
the same energy that's also moving through you. And it's this frequency, it's this knowing that your true nature is that of abundance and that scarcity is not real. That's not true. That's an
Hmm.
illusion. That's a belief. And when you shift out of that belief and back into that true resonance and that knowing within, again and again, like kind of what we are talking about before, about this visualization of pouring into your light and the things that really light you up, it will help you to maintain and hold that frequency and that knowing and that belief that you live in an abundant world.
Yeah,
Oh, I like this
that's
one too.
beautiful.
Um, Wild woman, I embrace my wild nature. I am free. So this is an
Beautiful.
image. You can't see this right now, but I live at a lake. I'm literally looking at a lake, and so this image is of a woman that's dancing by a lake under the full moon, and and there's like hills in the background, and there's also this wolf, this kind of like ghosty phantom looking wolf, and it's kind of coined from the woman who ran with the wolves, and it's about just yeah, embracing your wildness, allowing yourself to be free today. So mm, I'm feeling called to say that, like, if you really resonated with the message that Amanda was saying about, like, if you're feeling stuck at a job, or if you feel like you want to make changes in your life, really it's about that frequency of like, okay, if freedom is really what you want, how can
Mm-hmm.
you cultivate freedom today? How
Mm-hmm.
can maybe it's putting a song on and allowing yourself to dance. Maybe it's being
Mm-hmm.
out in nature, or just like allowing yourself to feel that.
Yeah.
Maybe you take a day off and you just have a date with the divine, which for me is just, I say a little prayer and I'm like, all right, divine, take the wheel. Where are we going? And I'll
Yep.
just drive, and then I'll just show up somewhere. Or if you need like another practice, I like to just put um, in a hat, you take a piece of paper and you write down right, left, straight, U-turn.
Oh, I love
I'm not
that.
joking.
So fun.
I'm not joking. You like, I've been doing this since I was 16, and you just like put into a hat these different directions, and this is fun to do with a friend too.
Yeah.
And literally like you just start driving, and then you pull from the hat like the direction that you're going to go. Right, I'm going to go right, and then you just keep going until you end up somewhere, or you see something fun, or you pull over, and or you get stuck in a dead end, and then there's blackberry bushes right there that are calling you to
Aw.
pick them. And true
That's such a
story.
great example of how can I make this more fun? How
Yeah.
can I just make, like, we don't have anything to do. Why don't we just go out for a drive? I love that so much. I love
Yeah.
that so much. I definitely will have to try that as like a date with my husband or something.
Oh my God, do it. Please
Yeah.
report
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one, and this ties this all in beautifully, is limitless. I
Mm,
am limitless. And so it's an
so
image of
beautiful.
a galaxy. And then I did some with these cards, a lot of them do have some like graphics that I added into there to like really bring the aliveness into each piece. And so it's a person that looks like they're like walking into this galaxy, and there's some sacred geometry. And it's just that remembrance that I am limitless, all things are possible. And yeah, to tune back into that infinite knowing. And it allows you
Mm.
to open up, it allows you to be in that recognition, it allows you to become more receptive of all the good that's coming to you. And yeah, there's your reading for the day.
I need to share with you a quick something. So
Please.
remind me, this has a name, right?
Yeah,
This image,
Merkaba.
Makaba. So for those of you who are just listening, Makaba. My longest the friend I've been friends with the longest, like since the day we were born, has this tattooed on her left wrist.
Wow.
So I had to just share, like, whenever I just look at the back of your cards, I feel so much comfort and connection because she has just always been someone who's near and dear to me. So
Oh,
I wanted to
I
share that.
love that. Thank you.
Aw. Anything else you want to share from that reading?
That is all for the reading that's coming through. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing for sure. Okay, Senna. So I want to wrap this up. We've been talking about so many wonderful things. What do you feel called to create next?
Yeah. So, oh, this is a big question because
Mm,
I've been in this like deep reclamation and kind of remembrance right now of how to start showing up and kind of come out more. Um,
mhm,
I feel like I really like, how do I say this? I've like gone within, I've kind of like stepped up, like here I am, here's my creations. But like really I'm in this, like I'm stepping out. Like how can I be more of service in my leadership, and offering community spaces, and putting um and really holding community, and like one-on-one sessions and mentorships. So something that I'm really coming into this season is actually I'm birthing something right now called Divinely Sovereign, and I have
mm.
my Divinely Sovereign podcast, and also um, this path called the Temple Path,
The temp.
and it's a community where women can come together. Every month we have an intention. I offer also some uh, excuse me, some challenge, like not challenges, but like invitations to go deeper, to bring ritual connection into your daily life and for the month. And there's some module work as well. This is usually a theme. So right
Mm,
now we're going through the elements. And so this month in particular is like water. And we're talking about human design as well as like our soul and like the remembrance of the unique codes that we have, that we are here to be. And so it's a beautiful way to start cultivating some community.
mm,
And something really big that's on the precipice is um, this coming January, I'm opening up the Sovereign Path, which is for someone that's really ready to go deep into their reclamation alongside sisters and reclaiming their most creative, expressive, and sovereign self. And it's being really weaved with the Sophia codes. I really want to start teaching more about metaphysics and
mhm,
also about sharing more about my story of my beliefs around uh, the divine feminine consciousness and and kind of a new take on what create like the original Christianity, I believe, was meant to be. And so it's yeah, it's something that's still really moving through me, and I'm taking it really slow this season.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, I'm letting it kind
Not
of
rushing, not
yeah, I
pushing.
can't rush it. I can't
Yep.
rush it. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Oh, that all sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah, please keep us
Thank
up
you.
to date on when that all comes about.
Yeah, and I'm so curious. What do you want your podcast and your the daily Oracle Journal to unlock for others that have it or the viewers that listen?
Oh yeah, thanks for asking about that. For your listeners, because I often share it with mine, I want it to be a place where people can show up and just get more in touch with their inner guidance because there are so many people have just no idea how to tap into that. And again, going back to that theme of you can start wherever you are. You really can. You don't have to be good at it. It doesn't matter if you just put away the judgment, show up for yourself, have a meeting with yourself, and the information will start pouring through. And once you start the journaling, that is a place where you can just get it out of your mind, do a mind dump into the journal because it's just going to keep running around up there. And once you get it out, your mind becomes so much more available for the next thing.
Yeah.
And when you're available for the next thing, that's when the messages start to become more clear. So that's what I'm really hoping to unlock for others. It's really for those people who are ready to be guided from their self for themselves and stop looking for external sources. So, yeah. And where can we find you? Where can everybody find you?
Yeah. So I'm on many platforms, but I think the one that I'm really like concentrated on right now is my Instagram, which is Senna, Senna, Zen, Zen underscore art.
Okay, I'll
And if you
throw that
put
in the
that
show
in the,
notes too.
yeah, cool, cool. Or if you go to also my website, www.sennazen.com, it has all of my offerings. So I have a free art print that I would love to offer your
Oh, fun.
viewers and stuff. And then yeah, I have just so many other beautiful modalities in which I sometimes paint people commissions as well, and which is one of my favorite things to do is I can channel and connect
Mm.
with your higher self. And just the way that I did with my oracle deck, I'll receive a channeled message for you on your journey. And so I would love to do that for anyone that's listening that's interested.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
What about you? Where can people find you?
So I am on Instagram a bit, and it's at Oracle Mornings. And that is the spot where I tend to share images of the cards that I pull because like earlier when we were, showing some of Senna's beautiful artwork. For those of you just listening, I know you can't see it. So I do love to share the artwork on the Instagram page so that people can have a deeper connection with the card. And maybe you purposely keep yourself an episode behind so that you can see what card was posted come up with your own reflections, and then listen to the episode. So that's one option. And my website is just oraclemornings.com. I am offering Oracle card readings now, and that's just a way I can either help coach people through how to start a practice for themselves, and we can do that also a reading, but really just being there to hold the space for people as they go through the process and help them, develop the reflections. Obviously, I can't give the reflections for them, but sometimes people just need to be held in that space, especially when they're learning. So that is something I offer now as well.
Yeah, that is so powerful and beautiful. Do you mind if I share the giveaway that we're doing?
Yeah, please do. Please.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing a collab and starting on 11/25, so November 25th, 2025. This
Hmm.
is you can find this on both of our Instagrams. We are doing a giveaway of the Self-Love and Inner Beauty Oracle deck and then the daily Oracle journal. And you can win that by liking the post, posting a comment, following both of us just as an entry to enter. And then there's also bonus entries as well of, sharing it to your stories, tagging, friends if you would like.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be like the perfect little like sacred intention morning way to start your day.
Your own
And
little
I'm so
bundle.
excited. Your little bundle. Like part of the collab when I like reached out to Amanda, I was like, oh my God, ours it's like a match made in heaven. It's like it would be the
Yeah.
perfect little bundle.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for someone to receive that.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to, whenever you listen to this, I just want to name that the giveaway ends on December 5th, 2025, and then we'll announce the giveaway winners on the 6th. Yeah.
Yeah. So check our Instagram for more details. I'll also pop some information in the show notes for this episode as well. Well, thank you so much, Sana. It has been such a delight. I've been so excited about having an Oracle card author on the podcast. So this is new for me and my listeners. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. I just want to name that this has been such a pleasure. Thank you for holding this platform for me to also, for the first time ever, literally share my story of this
Mm,
deck. It's really profound. I hope that it touches the hearts and the souls of those that have listened. Thank you for this opportunity, Amanda.
you're welcome. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.